I start my YouTube videos. Shoot. Go to YouTube. Okay, let's just stop this. Greetings, salutations, everybody. Anthony and Matthew here from Anthony Around Town, brought to you by the Iron Horse RV Resort, the Hilton Garden Inn, the Garden Grill and Bar located in the Hilton Garden Inn, and Elbows Relay for Life. You guys just kind of caught us on this beautiful Thursday afternoon, just catching up and seeing how each other's weekends went, because I actually haven't seen Matthew here in a few days, and so we're just two bros hanging, like I said, catching up. So yeah, buddy, you were telling me a little bit about your weekend. How'd you spend it?
Super cool. I got to check out Addict to Athlete. I got to sit in on their startup meeting, and that was super interesting. I loved just kind of like the videos and everything, the breakdown for what they were doing. I got to talk with the founder of Addict to Athlete. His name is Blue. I was going to ask him if his favorite color is blue, but I forgot.
I'm sure he's never been asked that before.
Right? No way. But I got to interview him. I got to go in depth on some of the questions that I had. And just to give you guys really an overview of what Addict to Athlete is. So it's awesome. I'm glad that I got to be the interviewer on that. And one thing I did want to mention, it is open for anybody. You don't have to know an addict. You don't have to have your own battles with addiction. It's open. Go learn and participate and check it out if you're interested in that. So that's pretty fun. What about you? What'd you do?
What did I do this weekend? Oh, kind of something pretty big. As you guys have been following Anthony Around Town for any amount of time, you know, as I said at the beginning of this video, we're heavily involved with Relay for Life. We support them. They do a lot to support Anthony Around Town. So this weekend was their 2019 event. It was a lot of fun. I actually got to give a speech during their opening ceremonies. That was really cool. Got to see just a lot of people who have a heart for being involved with something that's just such a great cause, like the American Cancer Society and Relay for Life. And so it was a wonderful time. In fact, it was so cool. Both of our weekends were so cool that we're just going to cut to the footage of all of it right now so you can see for yourself. So, hard cut. This last year has been fantastic because I've been able to go around and talk with many fantastic men and women in our community, and unfortunately some of their stories involves a battle with cancer, going through the hardship and sadness and the broken hearts that come with the illness, or by extension they'll talk to me about a family member who's battled with cancer. Maybe they beat it, maybe they lost a family member due to it. And it's by through talking to these men and women for the past year or so that really has done something in my life. It's really done something in my heart, and it's really done something to impact my journey and therefore impacting my story. So maybe cancer hasn't affected me directly, but because of the stories of men and women around me, talking to them, getting to know them, ultimately it's their stories that have led me to be up here today.
Hey guys, this is Matthew here. I'm usually the one behind the camera, so that's pretty interesting. I'm glad that I get the honor today to be the one doing kind of the interview and learning the stories and stuff. Today I got to check out. I got to come to this meeting for Addict to Athlete. It sounds like a super cool program. And everything that we've seen with my mom from doing Addict to Artist, it looks like a good program. I have Blue here with me today. And so I'm told you're the founder of Addict to Athlete. So I'm glad that I get to talk to you.
Right there.
But for people of Elko, I wanted to get it from you. What is Addict to Athlete?
So as athletes, kind of the same kind of principles and format that Addict to Artist is, only we use health, recreation, and athletics to help strengthen or maybe even begin your recovery. It's based off of like a group, much like what a 12-step would be, only much more action-oriented. We're not anonymous. We think that anonymity is going to be kind of something a little more harmful these days. We want to share our stories and our successes with everyone. And so we're very public. We wear our Addict to Athlete jerseys out when we're running and recreating to help kind of spawn a little bit of a conversation, a little bit of a dialogue, because we don't look at it as something that's bad. We look at addiction as something that can be very, very motivating when the right principles are applied. And a lot of that is erasing your addiction and replacing it with things of greater value like family, recreation, health, and wellness. So kind of all jumbled into one.
Believe everybody has a story that matters, whether you're a stay-at-home mom or you're the mayor sitting right here. Everybody has value. Everybody has something to say. Everybody has something to share and contribute to this amazing community that we have. So I've gone around interviewing people, talking to them about their stories, and sharing those stories with the community with the hopes of bringing us together as a city. So I've talked to lots of different people. I've talked to helicopter skiers, hot air balloon pilots, musicians, this one particularly back here, pizza place owners, sanitation workers, and more. And like I kind of alluded to at the beginning of this speech, the one thing that I have just taken away the most from talking to all of these individuals is the fact that their stories, the things that they have gone through, have truly shaped them to be the men and women that they are today. Because if you think about it, if you think about your own story, you didn't just wake up this morning being the person who you are, with the likes, the dislikes, the personality traits, the career path that you've chosen. It didn't just happen overnight. Your story is an accumulative journey throughout many years, throughout many trials, throughout many good times, bad times, relationships that have impacted you. All of these things that you've gone through have shaped who you are today.
Story behind erasing.
Yeah, it was something that I thought of when we were kind of forming Addict to Athlete, meaning if we're going to take away that void of addiction and take away that substance, that desire, that want, we've got to replace it with something of greater or equal value or greater so that it can kind of reign supreme. And so if you erase it, you've got to replace it, or else there's a void there. And what happens is, maybe you'll fill it up with working out, which can totally become an addiction in and of itself, right? I don't know how, but it happens. And so what we decided to do is, let's focus on things of greater value. So if you erase the addiction, replace it with service, with working out, with running, with community outreach, with speaking engagements, with giving back to your community, all kinds of things. So the erase and replace kind of founded off of that. Like, if you just decide to quit using, you've got to put something else in there, or else you'll go back to it. So that's kind of the premise of it.
How many of you here today are here because your own personal story, your own journey has been impacted by cancer? Maybe you've battled through the illness. Maybe you're currently battling through the illness. And if that's you, I just want you to know that even though that's a part of your story, don't be ashamed of that truth. Just know that that's your reality, and ultimately, if you think back in many different ways, it might have contributed to the man or woman that you are today. So don't be ashamed, don't be numb, because if you look around right now, there's people here who are here maybe because of you, because they've heard your story, they've fallen in love with you and your story, they've been inspired by your story, and maybe you, through your own battle with cancer, have shaped somebody else's life in ways you might not ever know.
Say, hello, I'm Blue and I'm an addict. If I say I am an addict, that's end all be all. That'll never be anything else. It's a worst comment in the world. It is what it is. I hate that so bad because it can always be so much better or so much worse. It never just is. So I am an addict that just puts you into that darkness again, and it gives you an excuse to keep using and doing dumb things. We look at it through, I am a champion, I am a father, I am a brother and a son, I'm an athlete, I'm a coach, I'm an artist, I'm so many things, so many attributes. And yes, I am an addict, but it's part of me, it's not who I am.
Yeah.
So that I am statement has to be followed with something of power and of strength and of desire to move forward.
You're here today and you haven't been personally yourself affected by the battle of cancer, but you're here maybe because, again, you know somebody or you have a family member if you've lost somebody to the fight. And that ultimately has led you to the city park on a Saturday afternoon. Then I want you, as you're out there today, to remember that story and remember how your personal journey was shaped by somebody else's story. Because I might come up to you and be like, hey, so what brought you out today? And you might say, oh yeah, I'm here for so-and-so, fill in the blank. But no, let's remember something deeper than that. You're here because your story was impacted by the hardship, sadness, and pain of cancer too. And ultimately, this is why we're all here today for this event. Your story has become a part of his story, has become a part of her story, which has ultimately brought us together as a community of people who have been shaped by one another.
I look at it as, the I am statement of being something that should be taken with care. It should be something that's focused on with a little bit of strength and a little bit more of character than the dark side of the addiction. I get why we use it, but don't make that your go-to. Make it a part of you, not who you are.
Yeah, focus past the I am this.
Yeah.
And work hard. I like that's really good stuff. That's a good mindset to
It's hard
get
to wrap
into.
your head around at first, but it works when you start applying those attributes to yourself. Like, I am a dad, and I am a coach. And when I start working on those things and applying that same kind of attitude of I am this, you fake it until you become it. And that's called practice. There's nothing wrong with that. So I didn't know how to be a dad until I became one, and I had to fake being one until I became one.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. Now I am a father. And so it's kind of a cool way to look at things. It's a little bit different.
So when you're walking around this grass field today, remember your reason for being here. And remember, whatever it is, you're not alone. You have your team, you have your community, you have this amazing network in the American Cancer Society who are now a part of your own journey. So let's remember our stories while we're out there today. Let's let that be our motivating force as we're walking around. And by doing so, let's have a fantastic 2019 Relay for Life event. Thank you, and we'll see you around out there.
And we're back. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed being able to see some of the footage from both of our weekends. Me at Relay for Life, Matthew at Addicts to Athletes. We just always have such a good time going around town, as our website suggests.
I'm actually super stoked that I get to say that. Hopefully I get to see you guys around town.
Hey, don't steal my catchphrase. You will never be invited to another video ever again. And this is just fair warning, everybody. You as my witness, don't steal the catchphrase. Just kidding. Alright, that's going to do it for this week's video. If you like what you saw here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you can stay up to date on all the content here on Anthony Around Town's YouTube page. I'll just head over to the main site, anthonyaroundtown.com. New articles and content coming out there every single week. Until next time, I'm Anthony.
I'm Matthew. Catch you later.
Okay, that was close. See you around, Elko.